There is a fine line between admiration and obsession. One can be a good thing, like admiring nature, while the other can lead to heinous crimes. The question is, how far would you go if your favorite singer was stalking you? Would you feel honored or threatened? Let's find out what happened in this case. She grew up in the nearby town of Baldwins. Her parents called her Bianca Bunny, because she always had something nice to say about everyone. As a result, they nicknamed her Sunshine. This nickname stuck with her throughout her life, because she was known to have a sunny disposition. She was also a cheerleader during her school years, so she got the nickname Beaver. But one time she saw that he had liked one of her pictures. She received an associate degree in nursing, but before she could apply for a job, her thoughts turned dark. She started writing disturbing things on her journal, and after a few days, her actions became even more alarming. She posted videos on her social media account showing her cutting herself. After spending weeks outside the hotel, Bianca realized that she had nothing to show for it. She returned home dejected, but she wouldn't give up. She kept checking the band's website and social media accounts for news of their next performance, and finally she found it. The band was going to perform in Philadelphia. She immediately bought a bus ticket and headed there. Then she wrote, "I'm going to go to LA to find my happily ever after." She spent all her savings, but it didn't matter because she had only one thing in mind: to get Austin's attention. But she would serve less than half of that sentence, because she was released on parole in March 2022. She asked them to take her to the singer's tour bus. If left untreated, this condition can lead to serious consequences. But the parole commission said that she had served enough time and that she was ready to reintegrate into society. And then she pulled out a knife and stabbed him repeatedly. The singer screamed for help. The two men tried to hold her down, but she managed to stab one of them before security guards arrived and pulled her off Austin. Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. Paramedics arrived shortly after that and rushed Austin to the hospital. He survived after undergoing emergency surgery. She thought that this was her only chance to get close to him. The two men agreed and led her to the bus. However, they didn't know that their night was about to get very ugly, and she knew that if she didn't do something drastic, he would never notice her. Soon after that, she wrote, "What should I do to get his attention?" No one paid any attention to her posts. They thought they were just that, posts. But they were wrong. It wasn't much, but it gave her hope that maybe he might notice her someday. The judge ordered that she undergo a psychiatric evaluation to determine if she was fit to stand trial. The results showed that she was fit, but during the trial, her defense attorneys argued that she wasn't guilty by reason of insanity. But the prosecution countered this by saying that she knew what she was doing and that she planned the attack for months. She told her neighbor that she was moving to Los Angeles to meet her favorite singer, but before she could be locked up, she tried to take her own life. She was found unconscious in her cell after taking a large amount of pills. She survived, and after she recovered, she was transferred to a different facility for psychiatric treatment. But her neighbor thought that it was just another teenage fantasy. What she didn't know was that Bianca had already bought a one-way ticket to it, and once she arrived there, she took a bus to the band's hotel. But when she got there, she found out that the band was no longer there. They had moved to another hotel, but this didn't stop her. She took another bus to the second hotel. Unfortunately, her hopes were dashed when the band left on tour, and they wouldn't be back until 2019. She saw him through the window, and he even waved at her. From that day on, she wouldn't leave the hotel. She waited there for weeks, hoping that he would come out again. During those weeks, she slept on the sidewalk in front of the hotel. Sometimes people offered her money so she could buy food, but she refused. She only wanted to see Austin Carla, and she was willing to do whatever it took to get his attention. But she didn't care because she had all the time in the world to wait for him. All she needed was a plan to make sure that he would notice her. And later she changed it to Beav. These nicknames were used by her family and friends. But she went by Bianca in school, and, among other peers, she was well liked and her teachers described her as an outgoing child who enjoyed playing softball and hanging out with friends. A typical teenager. You can admire someone from afar. That's called being a fan. But when that admiration turns into obsession, things get very ugly, and it can even turn deadly. On today's episode, we will look at a case where obsession went too far. It led to multiple murders, several attempted murders. But before we get started, please subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Bianca Devons was born on February 6, 1994, in Syracuse, New York. After graduating high school, Bianca enrolled at Onondaga Community College. She intended to become a nurse. In 2017, she switched schools and joined the State University of New York at Aspen. She liked watching the bands Slipknot and the metalcore band of Mice and Men. In fact, she attended one of their concerts in 2018 at the Westville Music Bowl in Westville, New York, and she really liked the band's music video for the song Forever. She was fascinated with the lead singer, but not for his singing skills. She liked him because of his looks. She thought he was cute. She told her mother that she was going to get that guy's attention. The problem was that she couldn't stop thinking about him, and soon her thoughts turned into an obsession. She wanted to study pediatric nursing there. Sadly, she never finished college today. In addition to studying, Bianca worked part-time as a waitress at various restaurants in the area. She started following the band on social media, and she would comment on every post the singer made. He never responded to any of her comments. In May 2019, Bianca graduated from college. Bianca had planned something big. This time she managed to see Austin Carlisle, but he would never give it to her because he had no idea that she was there. This time she didn't wait around. She followed the band from venue to venue. On July 8, 2019, Bianca met up with two men she had met at the venue. She had been talking to them for hours. When Bianca saw Austin, she threw herself at him. She hugged him and kissed him without asking first. Meanwhile, Bianca was taken into custody. She was charged with attempted murder and assault. She pleaded not guilty. The jury sided with the prosecution and convicted her of 2 counts of attempted murder and 2 counts of possession of a weapon. She was sentenced to 6 years in prison. In January 2020, she was found guilty of the crimes, and 2 months later, she was sentenced to 12 years in prison. Many people believe that she should be locked up for the rest of her life, because she could strike again. We will never know why Bianca obsessed over Austin. But one thing is for sure, it's important to seek help if you're obsessed with someone. Now we would like to hear from you. What do you think of this case? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos.